know it's there.
Welcome to the Up the Cream Fans Forum. It's the first time we've attempted this, so we'll see how it goes. Bear with us. I'm Dan Tomlinson. Joining me this evening are Johnny Compton and Ian Fresh. How are we doing, lads?
Alright, cheers Dan. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, pretty
A bit
good.
weird, isn't it, doing this in a dining room instead of in a studio? But
Where's the mic?
I know, we'll see how it goes. Well, it's bad when an iPhone actually records it better, isn't it? But yeah, we'll start with 2019 as a whole then. We're into June now. We're more than halfway through the season. Hull FC are currently 4th in Super League. In the semi-finals of the Challenge Cup, I think we can be pretty content with that, Freshy.
The only thing I can be disappointed with, apart from being annihilated 2, 3, 4 times, is the minus 81 points, which adds to the point of when we've been beaten the 4 really bad times. But, as I've talked to numerous people who understand the game, it's a different setup to my era. The top of the league wins the league, things like that. Playoff systems, it's different now. That in them days, you had to be good every week. Now I'm afraid you can, within reason, pick your games. And as Radford keeps saying, and Danny Houghton's said it, and I agree with them. It's where you are in the league. As long as you stop in that top 5, yes, higher up the better. But as long as you stop in that top 5, on our day we've proved it. Apart from St Helens at the moment, but we know they've got a blip in them. On our day, we're capable of beating anybody and anybody handsomely, and especially in knockout football, we've got a little thing that we seem to rise to the occasion. I think we've had some good results during the league, but we've had some horrendous ones. They're the 2 disappointments: the horrendous defeats, along with the scores that put us we're 4th in the league, joint 3rd, but 4th actually in the league on points difference on a minus 80 odd. It's just unreal, but we're still in the chance for the league.
That shows you that it's not all about the first past the post, isn't it? Because don't get me wrong, the defeats, the ones you're referring to, Warrington at home, St Helens away, Huddersfield at the Magic weekend, they don't sit well with anybody, and at the time we was all fuming, and rightly so. But the bigger picture, they don't necessarily matter.
But it has come at, I'll jump in it has come at a time, them defeats, take the St Helens one primarily, it was over the Easter period. We'd been to Catalans, we'd beaten them. I bet if we'd have lost to Catalans away in that game, we wouldn't have had such a bad game. We more likely still have got beat by St Helens, but it wouldn't have been such a big defeat. We'd also beaten Rovers on the Good Friday. So we'd already had 4 points out of the possible 8 over the Easter period. So St Helens was a gimme. Let's go. We had a few injuries. Wiris players who normally, as we know, look at Danny Ruff at weekend playing with he'd had wires and pins taken out of his thumb. Now that was a must-win game for them. It's a one-off game, but they risked him. If that had been an ordinary game, would they risk him? No. We had players over that Easter period where we didn't want to risk, where we knew we could go to against Wakefield the following Friday and get a result. We got 6 out of the 8 points over the Easter period. To me, that is astute coaching, and that's what I like about it. We've picked certain games that we've thought, well, we've got a chance, but we're going to have to go all guns blazing and maybe lose a couple of players for injury and that. We can give that game up as long as we win that one and that one. It's a gamble, but I tell you what, all teams are doing it because that is the way the league's set up now, in my opinion.
It's a little bit of a subconscious mentality as well, though, isn't
Yeah.
it? I mean, that one there, absolutely, the St Helens one would almost achieved our aim. The Warrington one, I talked about it with you earlier this year, Dan, and said that it was a bit of a perfect storm. We came off the back of a really difficult game at London, playing on the 3G pitch. We had a short turnaround. We hit Warrington when they were red hot, and the momentum carried us through it. And we do seem to have a bit of a fragile mindset where once the game is gone, that's it. We just let it go. There's no sort of playing, for pride or we just think, right, that's it. We've lost this game. Let's move on and go from there. The one that really stung a little bit was the Huddersfield one because I didn't necessarily see it coming. That being said, it's a sign of where Super League's at in itself, in that all teams are not that far away from each other, and if you're
True.
a little bit off on any given week, you're going to get beat, and you can get beat by a substantial amount, as we've seen. And I think towards the back end of this year, you'll probably see it happen to more teams. It's happened to Catalans a couple of times. Look at Catalans; they've been tanked at home by Salford. They've been hammered by Wigan. Those are games where you look at where they're up at third in the league, and they've been hammered twice as well. The only teams that haven't taken a pasting so far are Warrington and are St Helens, who have been consistent. But you don't win anything over the course of the year. You could lose 2 games and win nothing. That's it. St Helens could go unbeaten between now and the end of the season, apart from the Challenge Cup final and the Grand Final, and walk away and they'd be very disappointed. We could lose a handful of games, but win the games that matter and walk away from the season absolutely elated. There's all to play for. It is a sad. We all know what competition we're playing in. We all know the rules of the competition before it starts, and it's all good and well people saying, "Oh well, it's rewarding mediocrity," and you've got poorer teams being given an opportunity to win. But look at Leeds a few years ago; they won from 5th.
2 years in a row.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But it was because they figured out the competition, and they figured out the way of winning the competition is by peaking at the correct times. It's not by being red hot in July. It's not by being red hot in April or May. It's by being there or thereabouts and being red hot come September, October time. And that's the key to it. We came unstuck ourselves. So you go back to 2016, and we were really red hot at the start of that year for the first sort of 20-24 rounds, and we bent ourselves out, particularly after Wembley. Even before Wembley, Wembley
was the catalyst that kept us going. But the minute Wembley had gone and we won,
that was it. We were bent out, and because we'd hit that season and we overachieved, didn't we? We tried to learn a little bit the next season, but I still think there was an element of, due to injuries that we suffered, that we had burn out, and again we had a long run at Wembley. The depth of our squad this year is something that gives me a little bit more confidence in that we're better placed to be in a good position at the back end of the year. And by missing people at the start of this season, you're not going to have them bent out like Sir Josh Bowden, like Sir Chris Green, people like that. Hopefully, we'll only be hitting the straps in August, September time. They'll be really finding some form.
That was a point to elaborate on Freshie's opening statement. The fact that you said they're rushing Danny Brough back for certain games. I know it's just knockout, it's do or die, but even still, we've been really smart. Houghton's got a little niggle right. He's in Cotton Bowl. He's not playing. Josh Bowden, we're going to make sure he's absolutely 100% fit and banging training for several weeks before we play him. Although I still think as much as you play the injury card and as much as it's tedious to some, our big defeats this year have come, especially in those Warrington and St Helens games where we played players, maybe out of position a little bit, or played, we had some key players missing. And you're just hoping over the long-term period that come the back end of the season we will be much fresher for it.
Over the last, call it 6 weeks, you can look at, forget about your fringe players, but you look at your Sneed was out, Kelly being out, Tumavave, massive miss. I mean, when I saw today somebody comment, would it be interesting if we went for Callum Watkins or Rovers, and somebody put Tumavave and Griffin are 2 outstanding centres.
And Jay Connor is the best of the lot.
Yeah. You see what I mean? So we've got plenty of cover in that position. But no, it's. I've lost my train of thought now.
that's your age coming in there.
No, I just sort of look at it, and you're right. The only player you could possibly say that we have played when he's not been 100% has been Mark Sneyd. And Ian was bang on the money when he said about, and you were when he said about the Warrington games came with people playing out of position. Jordan Thompson in the centre highlights it. Yeah. And both teams really took advantage of that. Nagama and Makinson scored, the amount of tries they scored on Easter Monday. Adam Swift, yeah. The amount of tries they scored on...
3 tries for Swift, 4th for Nagama.
Absolutely. But it was the same for Warrington as well. They went down that edge, and it's the most difficult position in the game to defend at his centre. Absolutely. And it was a mistake, I think, for us to play him there, and I doubt we will do it again. I hope not. But it was sort of needs must. It was a case of we didn't want to over push people. We wanted to manage the Easter period, and then we wanted to manage the period straight after the London game. But your point about Callum Watkins, absolutely. Josh Griffin, Carlos Tumavavi, Jake Connor. He gets nowhere near our team, Callum Watkins, for me.
What does that say about Leeds? Laugh out loud, who cares?
Bottom 14.
Oh, the rotten die.
Bottom 14.
Not a fan, are we? But yeah, the Jekyll and Hyde approach is obviously frustrating, but I think to sum that all up, as long as we know the point you made, Johnny, about 2016 is bang on, because for 12 weeks we were top. We won the regular season, if you like, after 23 rounds before the Super 8 split. And I think we ended up winning 3 of the 4 games, and that ended up costing top spot on the final round against Warrington. So, and then ultimately ended up going to Wigan, missed out on a home tie and got knocked out, didn't we, and missed out on Old Trafford. So, timing it right now, that's what it's all about, innit? Super League.
The key is to not get too down with your big lows and not to get too carried away with big highs and try and stay level throughout the season.
I think I still need to get the memo there, me personally. After Huddersfield, that was fuming.
Well, that brings in 2 or 3 different types of supporters, doesn't it? I mean, you take me. I'll use myself as an example. Win, lose or draw, when I say it makes no difference, I'll still be there the next week. I'll still support them. I'll still clap them off. I've been involved with the game at low levels, actually involved with the game, where I know what kids have put in. And when young kids come through, when people are saying, oh, he's never going to make it, he's not good enough, you still appreciate what they've done, because they've done 10 times more than anybody's criticising unless they've played the game themselves. Because these kids have played from 6, 7, 8 years old and spent 2 or 3 days every single week for the rest of their life, right up to making it to even Super League, playing rugby. So you've got to give credit where credit due. So I'm the old head. It doesn't matter how bad the win is, as long as it's a win, it's a win. But I hear people moaning like mad, and I can see their side. That's the other side of the sport. They just got to get entertained. If they're not entertained, just because we've won, it's not good enough. Oh, we nearly lost it. They didn't play very well. We fluked that win. I don't care. We fluke a win. We get a lucky call, bounce of the ball. It's part of the game.
A win is a win.
Is a win. And I've got a mate of mine, Steve, Brass Devo. We used to go all the time, and we've seen some dire games that we've won, but we still come away smiling. It's another 2 points. That's all that matters in my eyes. And then you got the supporters that just seem to want to go moan, whether you win, whether you lose, whether you draw.
Look, I made the point on social media not so long back that this team, it's at everything goes in cycles, and this team is at the back end of its cycle. It will naturally transition over the course of the next 2 years with the amount of players out of contract, and where we'll go. Where we're at is a true reflection, I think, of where this side is. I sat here in this very room with you at the start of the year and said we're a top 4 team. And
yes,
I got laughed at.
Yes, you did, and I laughed as well.
And I genuinely believe our squad, when you look around the league at the other squads, we are a top 4 team. We're not a top 2 team. We're not. Now I won't say that, but we're in that 3rd or 4th place, and we are where we should be. I think
we wouldn't be far off a top 2 team, if Warrington imploded again. Because now, I mean, I've said it,
a massive loss.
Exactly,
Yeah.
And that's the point I'm going to make now. And I've said it loads of times when I've been on the radio with you, Dan, and a lot of luck comes into the season.
Well, how reliant are they on Blake Austin now? If Blake Austin went down for a period of time, they would be, or Darryl Clark went down for a period.
Warrington actually said after
they
the
lost
Magic
cool.
Weekend.
They lost Darryl Clark. You see how they perform from that point of view.
Well, as I say, I follow Warrington fan on Twitter, and he said if they lost Darryl Clark and Blake Austin, they'd be screwed. So that's it, innit? That's the be all and end all. But you can say that about any side. If they lost the 2 most key influential
Take
players.
Sneed and Kelly out of our team, we're the same, aren't we?
Yeah, exactly. You take.
We've proved that, haven't we?
Oh yeah, you take James Roby, Lachlan Cook, out St Helens, or Johnny Lomax, who me and Johnny say is best player in Super League. Then how would they go? It's a tough one, isn't it? But
he was awesome on Saturday, Lomax.
Well, he's been awesome all year, Johnny Lomax.
Yeah, he was.
He is. He genuinely, for me,
he's getting better as he gets older.
We've talked about it this year, Ian, myself and Dan, and we've said with Lomax that you look at the Man of Steel points and the way it's awarded and everything and like that, and the people are at the top. Johnny Lomax has been head and shoulders St Helens best player.
He's got 8 for now today.
But Lachlan Cook, James Roby, they're all above him.
David
Fafita,
Max Sneed's
Blake
above
Austin, Sneed's above him. Shaw's at the same level as him, isn't he?
Despite missing so months.
that maybe says a bit more about the people who are picking.
We got Fresh's mate picking
points.
the points though, haven't you, Gary Schofield?
I read an article of Gary Schofield today talking about potential halfbacks.
Well, I guess no mention of Mark Sneyd.
He said Mark Sneyd is only good at one facet of the game,
for
and that is
God's
kicking,
sake,
so
right.
he shouldn't be considered. Do you know who he did consider? Lee Gaskell.
So it was Jordan Lilly last time, did
Jordan
he?
Lilly was
He's playing the
still
championship.
included, yeah.
Oh, dear me, Gary, dear me.
Honestly, it was.
Great point to jump into Thursday's game then against Catalans. Obviously, 51-8 quarter-final win for SC puts us into the semi-final for the third time in 4 years. Not bad for a crisis here. But Mark Sneyd was absolutely outstanding, and there was a tweet from a rugby league journalist, Aaron Bower, and he was bigging up Sneyd, saying there's not many best in the competition, blah, blah, blah. And the replies were astounding from uneducated morons that literally listen to Phil Clark and Gary Schofield and don't base their opinions on anything but the words that come out of those mouths. And for me, you look at Mark Sneyd, back-to-back Lance Todd Trophy winner. He's won, let's see, more games in his 3.5 years here than I care, 4.5 years here than I care.
How many
to count.
points is he off the top points goal kicker?
Right,
Well, this is the thing, he's 10th now.
In drop goals.
the drop goals.
And drop goals is second, he's 4 behind
Four
Gary
behind
Pearce.
now, yeah.
He's
Well, he
just
could get
over
that this
halfway to Joe Oliver's all-time point scoring record with 3.5 years of his contract still to go.
Might go over the drop goal record at Wembley. You never know.
He can get three LFC records the way he's going: drop goals, and most points scored. But it amazes me how he still gets critics. It's baffling, isn't it?
It's his other side of the game that I admire as much as his.
He can't pass, but that
side.
pop pass to Oughton was absolutely incredible.
I've seen
His
him
organising skills he orchestrates. You can see him in the back orchestrating, and it's a special thing that certain players have got. Ellis brings a dynamic of
a presence.
yeah, just being there, captain. People follow. He leads. People follow. Sneyd just waves his arms about and guards that team around the pitch, and it's a pleasure to watch. And when he's not on there.
We're
not tantamount to headless chickens, but we'll lose a lot of the
He's
steering.
took a lot of stick in the past, hasn't he, about his defence. I have to say, this year, defensively, he's been really strong.
I'll use an example. I know, obviously, this is an easy example because the whole team defensively were absolutely outstanding against Warrington a couple of weeks back. But there was one incident, and I was to the left of the stick, pretty much in the corner. And there was a joint effort from Shaw and Sneyd, and they both, put the bodies on the line to keep, I think it was Tom Lynham out. Not Tom Lynham didn't even play, Josh Charnley. And it was absolutely incredible effort, to do that. There's a big, powerful winger, and this is someone who apparently can't defend. And, two little lads in rugby league terms. And yeah, don't get me wrong, Sneyd went to Magic Weekend, he had some one-on-ones and got overpowered, but he's not there to defend. He's not there to, perform miraculous last-ditch tackles. He's there to guide the LFC round in attack, and that's what matters. And if he does that,
but there's an improvement defensively.
Oh, yeah,
There's an
yeah.
improvement, but anybody who's watched the game or knows the game long enough, the half-backs aren't there to defend.
exactly, yeah.
Invariably, the snake between the centre and winger or the second row and centre and move the way out. In contrast to that, you've got the opposite. In Kelly, when we came to us, was told, his defence is shocking. Yeah, he plays like a prop forward at times. He hits as hard as anybody, and he does things which I wish he wouldn't. He puts himself in that position to go looking to defend. Only certain players, how long I've been watching the game, from the half-back position have been out-and-out tacklers, in my opinion.
Well, you don't want them. You want them
You
to
don't
lead your
want
team
them,
around. But the point you said about Sneyd leads us around the pitch, and that's where his defence has improved, because I think his leadership skills have improved.
He's mixed his game up a lot more.
Yeah, he's a leader within this team, and he will, even when we are struggling as a side, even when we've tossed in rubbish performances, he's the one who's constantly been scheming, trying to do things. It's not always come off, and it's not always been outstanding. It's not every game's been a 9 or a 10 out of 10 for him, but the effort level has never dipped from him, and he's one player who I talk about not getting too carried away when you're winning and not getting too low when you're losing. That's Mark Sneyd. His level is calm, isn't he? He's got composure about him.
It brings to a point that we've got several players in that team that if they're not in the team, we don't play very well, if you know what I mean. Ellis missing, we lose a lot of sort of like direction. Sneyd, we lose a lot of attributes that he brings with it. Connor, apart from Huddersfield, he'd seen his backside, hasn't he? I don't know.
Danny Houghton's another one, isn't
Danny
he?
Houghton.
we struggle with his. And I'm not a massive Danny Houghton fan. I've said this openly to a lot of people. I think there's much better hookers in Super League than Danny Houghton, and I have him as sort of 5th or 6th.
Golden generation though for
Yeah.
Super League hookers.
Absolutely. So maybe he's unfortunate that he's come through in
Yeah.
this era. But he does have another one who has a calming influence on us. For me, he doesn't carry the ball as much as he should anymore. But is that because Alpac isn't as robust as it once was, so he carried the ball more? He works so hard, and his delivery is streets ahead of the alternatives.
I think Bowden's brought a bit more steel to our pack.
Well,
Something that
Bowden
I'm
and
missing
Savelio as a pair
Yeah.
coming off the bench really added something. didn't
Savelio massively.
Yeah.
I thought on Thursday Savelio
Yeah.
massively.
And in that a credit to the first point we all made about, making sure players are fully fit, not jabbing them up,
Exactly.
taking that extra week. We were all told Savelio would be a month at worst, but it's been a lot longer than that. But the way he's come back, that's only one game. In Bowden's case, it's been two. It looked like it's been the right decision, and if we can say that in 6 weeks' time, then great, because Bowden will be back to what he was 2 years ago when he was, people like Wigan and Sean Wayne were touting him and wanted him. That's how good Bowden was.
The exciting thing with Savelio, I mean, Bowden goes under the radar a little bit and he's unflashy, isn't he? But he's probably a player's player.
Does he though? It's like I say, Wigan put an offer in for him. Wigan wanted to poach him from UFC.
Well, that's
Wigan,
just
Wigan.
Wigan understand the game.
Within-
Within supporters' comments on Facebook, and it's a different kettle of fish. He don't break the line. He don't run hard enough. He gets tackled too easy. He gets put down too easy.
Well, that's
He
people that
never
don't
finds
understand the game, isn't it?
Yeah.
Within the rugby league fraternity, within the rugby league world itself, he's a player who will be hugely respected, and that's why I said he's a player's player. He's somebody who, or a coach's player, he's somebody who he does the nitty gritty. He does those things that you look, and everything he does is quality.
And certain teams look at players that'll fit into a certain vein. How many times you got a player that have been quite average? They have been good, but the player average in one team, they come to you and all of a sudden they shine. The player will leave you and you think, oh, I wish I never did that for us.
You talk about Lachlan Coote at St Helens. The last couple of years at North Queensland
You
Cowboys,
bagged him all
because
before he came.
he was awful at the Cowboys for the last couple of years. He was there. He looked completely shot, and that was because
Didn't you just get him and Lolan mixed up?
No, I said he was rubbish as well.
Different skin colours, different body shapes.
What I'll say with Lola here,
One's shit and one's good and one's bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Lola here is a good fullback. Lola here is a garbage standoff, and I said that right at the start of the year. And he's had one good game for Leeds. And
Lachlan Coote has fitted into St Helens' team like a hand in glove perfectly. And he's brought, it was actually said, they actually stated in the interview after the game that to him, that he's brought more to the game than, what do you call it, last year.
We had it with Kelly.
Ben Barber.
Ben Barber was an outstanding player.
Kelly's your prime
We had it with
example.
Kelly in 2017, didn't we?
Well, Tildai will go off the rails, he'll do this, he'll do that. Well,
Yeah.
what's he had? One chicken nugget incident at the start, he's been absolutely perfect.
Right player, right time. People grow up, don't they, and they mature into it. And Lachlan Coote isn't that old. He's found a home and a system and a team that he fits.
Isn't that down to the club as well? We know St Helens obviously ran like a unit. Look at Albert Kelly, went to a tin pot club in Super League, now he's come to a proper club and he's excelling. That's not a coincidence.
He loves it. He absolutely loves it as well, and he's settled. His family is settled. There was talk of him going home, wasn't there, at the end of this year. That's all disappeared. His kids are loving it. His kids are playing down at Cot Tigers.
He's got a dog now.
involved,
He's got a family dog. He
Yeah.
can't get rid of the family dog. He's got to stay in England now.
He is matured beyond belief, I think, Albert Kelly, and
Yeah.
providing he stays fit, and then that's the big thing with all these players. We had Sneed and Kelly who played 2.5 games together last year.
Something like that,
Yeah, and that's the big difference between
That's a hell of a big difference.
last season and this
Well,
season.
Steve's already played more games now this year than he did in the whole of last year. Kelly's not far behind. I think Kelly played 15 last year.
Don't get me wrong, right? We lose them, we're in trouble again.
Oh yeah.
But as long as our half stay fit, we're there or thereabouts.
If we're going on to keeping and losing players, what about Farimo?
Well,
I'm hoping that he has.
it's already signed. It was announced this week.
Was it?
Yeah.
Well, not official. It was in the media.
No, it was in the media. I was told he took.
Tim Sheens is going in the media, but the club have said they're not.
I can guarantee it without wanting to say who told me. Somebody who's about as close to Beretta Farimo as could possibly be.
His wife.
Yeah, told me that. Told me 3 months
Kelly's
ago.
dog.
Kelly's dog.
Told me 3 months ago that they signed a 2-year deal. So
Right.
Beretta Farimo is going nowhere. I'm telling
That's
you.
good news. That means his daughter can play for Cot for another year.
Yeah.
Well, likewise with Kelly's daughter, who also plays for Cot, as well as Will Haraki's
Yeah,
kid,
Beretta's
Matt
going.
Minicello's kid. Famous, wasn't it? Cot Tigers.
Well, Rocky. Johnny's best mate.
Yeah,
He
his
plays
little lad
he
Taj.
plays for some amateur team in the other side of the
Yeah, his little lad Taj runs out of the noodles. That's what we all say every Wednesday, don't we?
Not hard, is it?
No, but yeah, we are in a good place. Like you said, we've got a cup semi-final coming up now, and that is really exciting. I know some people don't like all these pessimistic tweets on social media when it come out, but I tell you what, when that full time we still went against Halifax, I had my mum's side of the family round at Man, and I just went to them, there's no way in hell FC will draw Halifax. I'm only 27 years old, but I'm pessimistic to know that we always have to do it the hard way, and I welcome that.
That's how we do it, isn't it?
If we want to win the cup, we're going to have to beat Saints at
It'll
some point.
keep the intensity within the club up
Yeah,
as well.
massively. But it always happens though. I remember 2013 we had to play Wire, Wigan got London. 2005 we had to play St Helens, Leeds got Toulouse. We never get the so-called...
If we'd have got Halifax, we'd have got beat.
Probably right.
We'd have had a Featherstone situation like last year.
Well, that
wouldn't we?
crippled us, didn't it?
Yeah.
That absolutely crippled us, that Featherstone game last year. Ended up losing Borden, Tulmavavi, Talanoa. It was a nightmare, don't want to go back there ever again, do we? But
I'm pretty happy with the draw, if I'm honest. We know
Yeah, I am.
we know that we can beat Warrington. We've shown it. The players will be confident. Warrington won't have wanted us.
yeah.
The St Helens won't have wanted us. We often look at this the wrong way. It's like when we drew Castleford in effectively the first round of the cup. I know it's not, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you
when
mean.
we drew them, there's not a chance they wanted to come. Catalans didn't want to come to our place. We are a team to be feared, and we're looking at it the wrong way. If we're looking at, as long as we've had home draws when we could have had home draws, that's the best thing you ask for. Now we're into a semi-final. We're there, right? I was pretty happy with a Warrington draw. We go into it. There's a bit of needle between the two clubs.
Yeah.
You can guarantee you can go in. There'll be some intensity.
Feisty, won't it?
The fact that they're missing Ratchford is a huge loss for them.
It's a big loss.
It's a huge loss. And
Because it's not just a fullback, it brings a lot more to the
it's the
to their
defensive
game.
stability. We
Yeah.
know ourselves from-
Organisation as well.
Yeah.
But he's so versatile.
Yeah.
He'll pop up, he'll come into act in half.
He allows them to play with a half who's as limited as Declan Patton is. Now, I know that sounds a little bit condescending about Declan Patton, but he's not a good enough halfback to lead a team to a grand final.
Still a young kid and he learned his craft.
He is, but is he ever going to be good enough? Does he have anything outstanding
I
in
would
his
say
game?
in the halves, even though Ratchford is brilliant from fullback for them, I'd say if you pick the halves and they had no choice, Ratchford would go into the halves
But
because
this
he's
is
more
it.
skillful.
Because of how he plays out
Yeah.
fullback, it allows them to play with a halfback in Patton who just does the simple things and keeps his
Yeah.
game simple. Now they don't have that creativity out the back. Jake Mamo's a good player, but he's a runner. He's
Yeah,
not going to.
absolutely.
He's not going to give him the same creativity out the back. And you saw
There's
that.
a shot. There's another shot.
Yeah,
He
you
just
saw
does
it in the quarter
Get in the
final,
right
didn't you?
position, give him the ball a go, and it's got a lovely try.
They're gonna. You can almost guarantee they're going to base an awful lot of their game around the ruck without Ratchford in the team, and they're going to hit Darryl Clark. Because even Blake Austin's much more of a runner than he's a creator, and tends to run and hit the back of that play of the ball. I genuinely think if we aim up and when we turn up with the right attitude, we beat Warrington.
Happy with the draw then?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
wanted St Helens, as I said before.
Yeah.
Well, just do them in the final instead.
St Helens are red hot at the moment. The semi-final is what, 6 weeks away?
7 Super League games.
Yeah.
At the time we're recording this, till we play Saints.
Who knows? We need to more look at the semi-final a couple of weeks
With
before.
4 wins on the board before we play St Helens.
You
That's
don't
Warrington,
know
sorry.
what squad you're going to turn up with, do you, in that semi-final? I don't know what
Exactly.
squad they're going to turn
Yeah,
up with. It
true.
could be completely different, could be a completely different scenario. What I will say, doesn't matter who turns up, we have an opportunity to beat them and get to Wembley.
I was going to say, we're still doing that 1-in, 1-out thing, aren't we? We get Borden and Savelio back, we lose Scott Taylor. It's so annoying though, isn't it?
But that's the game, isn't it?
We've had 18 months of that though, haven't we?
Unless you're St Helens, and that's not bagging St Helens, that's just picking a point that they've been very lucky to have limited injuries. to
Aside from our
key
halves
players.
and our hooker, we found that we can manage it. I mean,
Yeah.
we missed 3 players, didn't we, in the quarter-final, who would have played in Ellis, Tumavavi and Taylor.
They go straight in your side, yeah, absolutely.
So they're the only 3 who were missing who would go into the 17. So to me, I looked at our side that took on Catalan. Bearing in mind, they were 100% full strength. They were at bang on.
We weren't confident.
No, we weren't.
To be honest, as confident as I was with the Huddersfield game, because I know what we could do, after that game and then we're coming to Catalans, it was totally the opposite. I
The
sat
fact that it
there
was 4
and
days later, yeah.
I actually, and they absolutely hammered it a week before that, or 2 weeks before that, Catalan, that I just saw their team and I actually nudged Johnny and said, they're looking very slick because their warm up was they'd never put a ball down. They were very quick. Their hands was perfect. The footwear, everything about them. We looked a little bit disjointed in our warm up. We looked sort of like, oh dear.
I thought we looked busted at the end.
Yeah.
You want to see the text I sent?
Leggy, as you said, look at them as they was running
Me
off
and
to
Johnny,
get
yeah,
ready.
me and Johnny.
They look leggy.
Yeah,
And
I'll
yeah,
hand up, yeah.
we go 12 points up. Then we let them back in, and you think, oh, and then we just destroyed them.
I couldn't get over how good that was. It's sort of like the point you said, you know, don't shout so loudly when we get beat, don't cry so much when you...
Yeah.
It's
you
about
know,
staying level, isn't it? And that serves. It's difficult to do. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Especially as fans, we're emotional.
We've
about
got
it.
to
At
iron
the
out.
time.
We've got to iron out as a club to be an out and out top club. The vast difference between the two. How you do it, I don't know. Radford, I've never heard anybody have a go about Radford say, well, I don't know how to understand that. He's played in teams that have put 60 past teams. Yeah. He's played in teams that have been beaten by that, but not one that fluctuates between the two.
I think with it, what you've got to, and again, I'll bite back to where this team's at in its cycle, is because we've got probably 5 or 6 players who are at the back end of the career and just about hanging on in there, they can turn up and they can operate at the very top level a handful of times a season. They probably can't operate at that level.
So do you think
that
Minicello?
Minicello, Sika Manu's, people like that.
Do you think that backs up what some supporters say that we've kept, like we re-signed Sika and we re-signed Minicello? Do you think we should have let them go at that point?
No, because there wasn't a viable alternative. Right. The difference is
They looked for one at the end of the season
Yeah.
and there wasn't one.
we tried. Minicello was re-signed on reduced terms. Sika Manu was re-signed on reduced terms. We've gone through the. Even Mickey Paya, we tried to bring Ikehifo in.
Yeah.
We couldn't get these other players out the door.
There's that 3-way swap thing
Yeah.
to try to get Ikefifo in.
And like some teams buy just for the sake of buying. To
We
say,
haven't
look,
done
we're
that.
buying. We haven't done that. So it's been astute, really, by the club. In
And
that
you look
respect.
at where we're at
Not
now.
backward thinking we're still fourth.
Yeah.
But I mean, you look at where we're at in terms of recruitment for next year as well, and I think it's really exciting.
Next year's... I don't want to write off this year because I think we can still achieve
There's a lot
something
to
this
be-
year. And
We
we're-
could still do the double this year. Yeah, I bet they'll laugh at that comment. But as stupid as it
We're
sounds,
still, we're there in both competitions, mate. So it's not a stupid comment.
Exactly.
And we turn up in the semi-final. We're at Wembley. You know, we can't just think we've got to turn up to win. But you know, if we're bang at it and we play to the best of our capability, I
Just
think
make
we'll
sure
beat
if they want
Warrington.
some-
If our next 6 months, 6 weeks are solid, and we get 4 wins out of 6, I think that cements our position in the top
Well, it's
5.
Salford, Cass, Catalans, Rovers, St Helens, London, Leeds. That's your 7 games before the cup final.
You take 5 out of
Cup
7.
final.
Take 5 out of 7 there, and we are comfortable in the top 4. I think.
barring any more injuries, that's easily
And
done.
bear in mind that your Catalans, your Cassis, your Wakefields are in amongst us. They've all got to play each other likewise with us, and there'll be points dropped on them.
The teams in amongst us we've gone really well against, haven't we?
Yeah.
Generally so far this year.
Every time we've had chance to go that 2 points clear, though, we've blown it.
That was what was a shame about the Huddersfield one, especially
Exactly.
with Cass losing and Wakefield losing.
I think Catalans going out of the cup may have a bit of an impact on them.
Yeah.
You know, mentally.
That could give them the third spot.
Well, that's what I couldn't.
No, well, I think it could go the other way
You think so?
with Catalans here.
That's what I couldn't get over on Thursday, right? They were bang at it coming to that game against us. They won at Magic.
Yeah.
You know, they took their 31,555 people to Barcelona and beat Wigan comfortably. You know, they were banging form, Johnny. We said this on the way to Cot on Saturday. So to put 51 points past them,
It's
was
more
pretty
a
amazing.
reflection on us than where they were at. I don't think they were that particularly, and it was. I saw something where I think it was Sam Shepherd turned around and said that we're really poor in the first half, and but the second half papered over a few cracks. So it went to them effect a little bit, and I sort of took issue with it on Twitter and said that my stance was the first half and the way we played there and the intensity that we played at completely set up what we did in the second half. And yes, we played a bit more structured and a bit more basic, but it's a simple game. You run hard and you tackle hard and you invariably win, and that's what happened. You looked at the likes of West Ham and the likes of Paya, the likes of Chris Green, people with a point to proved that point. They set out, and Westy in particular was a key denominator for me for where we're at with the form. We all know what it was like in the Huddersfield game. Now, our mate Ollie is a massive Joe Westerman fan, and he turned around and said to me
Those
after
were the
that
smart
game,
ones, Ollie,
yeah,
weren't
well, he turned around and said to me, he said, if Westy's going to play like that, he can go.
Yeah,
And I think those were his exact words, and he is about as big a Joe Westerman fan as you can find. And there's somebody who knows a lot more and seen a lot more games than I ever have. And I completely agree with it. But then Westy turns up and he carried the ball and he hit with intensity and he led the team and he offered himself and he linked. And you could say that about every single player in that team. And what I liked as well, the one player who I was a little bit down on in the game was Jamie Shaw, because I thought offensively he's been clunky. And he's impacted our attack a little bit since he's come back, and we've been clunky as an attack. But going over for that try, you could see him visibly lifted with his confidence. He suddenly started running those support lines again. There was a couple of occasions in the first half where you're thinking
he was in the wrong position.
You're thinking, where's your fullback?
Yeah.
We made half breaks and there was nobody there on the shoulder. With the type of fullback he is, you want him there. You want him buzzing about and doing that. But you could see he took some confidence out of it. Defensively, he's been very good for us. Apart from the blip at Magic, where everybody was.
I think everybody was.
But when he came back against Warrington, he was outstanding.
Absolutely. Well, he was outstanding defensively. And I was a bit on my own in this. I actually thought we were really poor with the ball against Warrington. I thought we should have won by more points.
In the second half, we were too cautious. We found it really tough to make ground. But was that because all the energy was getting sapped into defence? We did a lot of defending, didn't we?
How much ball did we cough up as well? I still don't think we controlled the ball well. We were clunky against Warrington, but we found
What do we have missing now? Sorry, Fashion. What do we have missing at Warrington?
A hooker. Exactly. We didn't have a 9, and it starts and ends with your 9, your distribution and the speed of the way we played, and that was the key thing at Magic as well. I thought first 20 minutes we weren't bad. We weren't bad at all. Physically we were on top, but our attack was so stagnant because the delivery from the play of the ball was really slow and really poor. I think what we've learned over the last few weeks about that is if Danny Houghton doesn't play, Jez Layton has to. There is no getting away from that. If we miss Houghton for any period of time, it doesn't matter what his defensive deficiencies are or where they're at.
It won't be anything worse than what we saw at Anfield.
Jez Layton has to play 9 if Danny Houghton isn't there, for me.
Well, it's history as well, going back to the Magic weekend, that we've never, apart from derby games, it's as if it's a game that the players don't want to play in. We've got a poor record at Magic.
You're absolutely bang on. St Helens beat us 45-0 a couple of years ago. Yeah. You go back to Edinburgh, we scraped Castleford. They were a very newly promoted club to Super League then. I think they were in the second season. And we lost to London.
Rovers have beat us a couple of times.
Yeah, lost to the Derbies. Yeah, I think we won as many as we lost there now, or similar. Lost to London under the Harlequins brand up in Edinburgh too. It's not an event we never really get up for, is it? We did alright with Newcastle.
As a supporter, we buy into it and we go and we take most normally. And we've enjoyed it.
And that was at Newcastle.
But as a team, they've never repaired in that respect.
Yeah, you're right. Because even when we won games in Magic, you think Chris Green's fluky, that's right,
Well, look at the data. I know we beat them admirably last year, but Connor's kick come off the crossbar.
It's only about 12 points though. But then again, I suppose we had half the team we had
Kerr Keeman playing. We had Liam Harris and Jake Connor in the arms.
Yeah, what a boy, coffee maker, bacon sandwich maker.
We lost Josh Griffin halfway through the game.
Yeah. Cam Scott had
to play. That was a really, really good victory that day. It was just all set up. It was never going to be a good day, was it, Liverpool? We didn't want to be there. We didn't want to play there. The magic of playing at Liverpool was completely taken away by the fact that we'd all experienced it at the England game.
Yeah.
Previously, and that was just a personal thing for me. I wasn't over enamoured with going and playing at Liverpool.
If I had to choose again, I'd go back to Newcastle.
Perfect. Wasn't broken. It was working, wasn't it? We enjoyed it every year.
There's an argument.
It's not that. It's not anywhere. And plus, Liverpool paid £50,000.
But what's Magic about? If it's about developing the game in new areas and things like that, it served its purpose in Newcastle. Yeah. Newcastle is now booming, it's going from there, and I get moving it.
You've got Gateshead up there, you've got Newcastle Falcons up there, you've got, who else? You've got 2 or 3 teams all on that area.
Some massive amateur clubs.
Exactly.
They're really starting to boom. So it served its purpose by going up there. The strong rumour is that we go to Tottenham next year. And I like that as well. That's another area. Yes, London is going well. North London,
easy to get to, easier to get to.
North London is on the back of what London Broncos have been doing, but not just London Broncos. You've got
does that take it away from Wembley again? I mean, as you'll say, since Magic Weekend, Wembley attendances have gone down because people are picking Magic Weekend as a weekend away.
Well, we're going to have Magic for the next 3 years. They've signed the deal
Yeah,
on new
exactly,
dates,
yeah.
so it's happening.
Find out what it is, and then that's what they need to do. Find out what they want it for, and then go from there. But it'd be nice to see it. Stay, pick a location, stick at it, and try and grow it.
But I'd like to come back to a point you just brought up, Johnny, with Jez Litton. I agree with you. He's got to play because it's come to his time where Danny Houghton and him can share the role. I actually heard on radio the other day after the phone-in, I think it was after, was it the Huddersfield? It can't have been. It was another loss that went on, but somebody was going on about Shaw and Connor Wynn and saying if we don't play that kid, then we're going to lose him. I don't know if you had the same.
He's 18 years old.
I sort of look at it.
Yeah, this is the point I'm getting to. I agree. It's out to them supporters that say, why ain't he playing, why ain't he playing? Jez Litton didn't play the other week for family reasons. I know it personally, I won't state it on here, but we don't know what goes on behind the scenes. Connor Wynn is 18 years old, is a young kid playing against seasoned professionals that he will, no matter how good he is, he will get hurt at that age. You can't play against men nowadays, week in, week out, at a very young age. You've got to gradually build yourself into that game. But it's part of the game.
Yeah.
Swift is good for nearly every single Super League team in this country at the moment.
He would
He's signed for us, and St Helens have lost him. I can't hear them saying, yes, they've got other players in that place. That goes for Connor Wynn. If we do lose him, what do we do? Drop Shaw. Shaw's virtually the England fullback.
Like you said,
can't
he's 18 years old.
He's got a lot of play. He's got a lot of doing yet before he.
The way I look at Connor Wynn, right, you've got a compulsory reserve grade next year. He's also eligible for a Hull FC academy, not City or Hull Shite. Hull FC academy. He can play one more year there, then he can go into the reserves. He can play both. He can play a bit here, a bit there, whatever Lee Radford wants for him. And also, he'll be training in a full-time environment, learning his craft from Jamie Shaw, a current England fullback.
Did they not watch his last couple of games in the first team as well, Connor Wynn, when he
Well, it was
garbage.
the Paul.
He had a few mistakes and they let it get to him.
It was
and that's
Catalans,
something
wasn't it?
and that's
Catalans at home when we got beat 37-6.
Yeah, we had Connor in the halves, not knowing, nobody knew what he was doing, especially himself.
Well, yeah.
No Kelly, no Sneed.
Our best rugby, though, and I'll say this, our best rugby this year, most in terms of attacking rugby, has been played when we had Connor and Kelly sharing the fullback role. When we had
It was different when we swapped around.
I thought that was our best attacking rugby for me, stylistically.
It was nice to watch. It was great to watch being the opposition it was, but the opposition is shite.
Yeah.
So
Well, we did it a couple of times, didn't we? We've done it 2 or 3 times. It worked at Catalans.
Yeah.
Then it worked because he came off
Got off for 20 minutes and it worked.
and that's what they did.
Yeah.
And then it worked in the Derby game. And I just thought, and this is maybe me being a bit harsh on Jamie Shaw because he is coming back, but this why it was so noticeable that it was clunky out the back, in terms of his attack. He didn't offer quite so much. He's a different style player. And I think when Westerman's on form, we don't necessarily need that. By all accounts, and the likelihood is there will be no Joe Westerman next year. So that is where now Shaw needs to step back up to the level that he was at the start of the season because he was outstanding.
Yeah.
It's a confidence thing. You can see he's a confidence player.
Don't forget, it was a long time out. But this head assessment, even though he was fit, he was ready. Go back 10 years, well, go back 5 years. He'd have been out for one game.
But we talk about the Connor Wynn scenario.
More likely, wouldn't have been out at all.
Yeah, you're probably not wrong there.
He'd have took tablets and forgotten about having an headache.
Connor Wynn is 18, isn't he? Right?
Yeah.
Jamie Shaw's what, 20?
My age, my school year.
26,
So he's 27 this year.
Yeah, so he's
In my school
26,
year,
27. So he's got 4 or 5 years left in him. Is Connor Wynn going to be prepared to stand around until he's 24?
That's 6 years.
Yeah, well, you could get 6 years out of Jamie Shaw, couldn't you?
But then it was
You could end up with Danny Out and Jez Litton scenario again. We could,
good teams manage it. So Ellens with Cunningham and Roby, they knew they had a world-class
the
talent
drawback
and
for
they
both
managed it.
players is they're both fullbacks only. That for me, and then I think we need to. Because they are, you couldn't turn around and say Connor Wynn's a winger or he could play 6. And the same with Jamie Shaw. They're
one
both
on
fullback, aren't they?
Yeah.
I don't know, and I hope he does. I hope he progresses and becomes the England fullback and is tremendous. I don't know if he will go on and achieve what he needs to achieve at Hull FC. I think you could end up with a Josh Hodgson scenario.
Yes.
Well,
Do you know
wait
what I
and
mean?
see.
That's part and parcel
But that's
of the
rugby
game.
league, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, you can't help that. We'll lose one player or two players, but somebody else will come in from another team that complements us that we need. It's like the old card tricks, isn't it? Where I'll swap you in for him because I need one of them.
Sean Long, Wigan Warriors.
Look what Salford have just done with, we'll give you Junior South because we need a Paulie.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
horses for
And he's been a
courses
great player
sometimes.
for them, hasn't he? You know, Junior Sal's been great for Salford.
I foresee a scenario next year that we
Paulie
give.
Paul is like Salford down the valley.
I foresee a scenario next year though where we'll probably give Ratu another deal if he'll agree it, you know, and be a backup winger to Farimo and Swift. And because of how well he's gone this year, because Swift hasn't signed to come and play second fiddle.
No,
Farimo-
yeah.
And we
Farimo
know better
will
than
play.
most that to ask Gillespie when he's to do 30 games a season or getting injured.
Yeah.
Don't happen, does it? You need.
I
you
know
need
there is
your
Dawson Jones there as well. Remember
Yeah,
for next
yeah.
year, you know, will come into this squad. But I think
It was
Ratu.
starting to look really good.
How long before fans start getting on people's back because Ratu? It's a good conundrum to be in because there will be real competition for places.
Mm.
But or is Ratu even available to us next year? Is he going to get a deal? You know, will the Army release him?
Who knows? We'll do it this year, so we'll
Yeah.
let him do it next year.
This
That's what they've got to negotiate, isn't it?
This is the thing. But Swift has come here to be a first choice winger. That without a shadow of a doubt. And Farimo will be a first choice winger. Those are Lee Radford style wingers who do a lot of hard work out backfield, which so is Ratu. I think we could be, and then we've also got the same scenario with the centres, haven't we? We've got it this year.
3-2,
Carlos,
yeah,
Griffin, Connor. Now there's always been one missing.
We're a strong squad. We've got a little bit skinnier squad than the past, but the quality is a lot better.
Well, I think this year we've got decent depth, and I think in
Well,
certain positions
you said that in
very
the
depth, yeah.
early parts of this. I mean, we have.
Yeah.
We've got really good depth in the team this year of quality. Just that some of the older quality is showing it now and again.
Yeah.
I feel for Sika. You can see his defence isn't as good, but it's not mobile. You pointed it out.
Mobility, yeah.
And
He's
but-
got the defensive mobility of a prop at the moment, playing on an edge. My old mate Jordan Abdul at London Broncos, that was always my gripe about him, is that defensively, or one of my gripes about him, but defensively he has,
So
the
one of
mobility,
10,000.
he has the mobility of a prop forward defending out wide in one of them edges, and that's what Seeker's been found out a couple of times for pace and footwork this year.
he got caught out on,
And it
on
will
Thursday a couple of
happen
times.
again. He's lucky that often he defends with Kelly and Connor outside of him. I think Kelly and Connor do actually cover for him pace wise a lot of the time. There is a hole there. When it was Connor defending outside of him, and I'm going to go back to the Catalan game away here. There was early on. I know we ended up winning that game, but early on in the game, Catalan's got us a couple of times
Down that side, yes.
on Sika Manu's shoulder, and it's because Jake Connor, as a defender, defends that little bit wider out. What you'll find is we often get caught scrambling and going across on our right edge, you know, and coming up with a covered tackle. It was because Albert Kelly sits on Sika Manu's shoulder because he knows what his mobility is like, and he knows that that's where he has to start, and then he has to push out and from there. And so that comes with combinations and playing with each other, and providing they all stay fit, you can carry Sika Manu there. I actually think we could really make use of him as a middle, but we've got a lot of middles, a lot of props, a lot of 13s.
A lot of props playing well as well.
Yeah.
You think of Mickey
So-
Peer.
Oh, outstanding.
That's where-
There's an hard one. If I was the coach, that would be one that, as he only played for
33 years old now.
Don't matter.
No. You're absolutely bang on. And I see where you're coming
Yeah.
from. Why has it took him? Because he was poor last year. I know he had problems. He had a wrist problem, then he had a back problem.
a lot of things that people didn't know about.
Yeah, true. And I think I for one was probably a little bit harsh on him, but
And he started off slow this year.
yeah, he did.
First
Half
couple
time
of
at
games.
Huddersfield, wasn't
Yeah.
it? And then he
They
was
got a
like
rocket up his
transformed.
ass, and he's been so paid for 2
He's
months
been
now.
fantastic.
Do you give him a deal? Would you?
What would you say? Why is it taken until the last 6 months
I
of
wouldn't give him a
contract?
deal, I'll be honest.
That's
better
that's my
options out there
question.
for us, yeah.
That's my question now. Why has it took until 6 months until your contract expiring for you to produce the format you should have been doing February 2018?
Unless we miss out on our targets.
I was just going to say that's the only reason.
If you miss
Well,
out
would you rather
on,
have Kane Evans?
Kane Evans, yeah.
Or Mickey Peer?
if we sign Kane Evans, you don't sign Mickey
I
Pearce.
can't argue that because I don't know Kane Evans is.
A 27-year-old for G and
I
Powerhouse.
don't watch NRL, do I?
6'6".
He's an
Just
animal.
because this is a podcast and not on the radio, don't mean I don't. I have changed my allegiance. I don't want that garbage.
I'll tell you what. we're going to get you on a long weekend and we're going to make you watch it and you'll learn to love it because it's...
Hey, I've been over there, I've seen it, it's warm, the food's good, the beer's great, you can sit and have a good time, but the game's crap.
Oh no, it's awesome.
No,
You'll watch Latrell Mitchell play rugby league, man, you'll change your mind.
I agree with
There's
you.
also talk.
It's tough, from my point of view, as a game, I mean, ours has gone that way.
Yeah,
Far
robotic, yeah.
Too structural.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it was nice to watch the Halifax and Bradford game because they played a little bit of old style. They had to
Morale.
try things. Yeah.
That was brilliant to watch, wasn't it?
I mean,
Dan, it's going to be me on Saturday.
my partner even said, it's slow, isn't it? And she knows now about the game. But, I mean, yeah, it was, you're watching a game that was played at half the pace what we'd been watching the St Helens game the day before.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. I'm not going to lie, watching a fat man direct the team around the pitch, it was great.
I'm telling you, it's going to happen on
But the-
Saturday.
the-
I'll play fair team.
The Rovers Salford game was just a slow Super League game. You know what I mean? But the St Helens game was
I thought the
just under
execution
an
was
hour.
awful in that game. I
I
really did.
thought we just pulled the rabbit out the hat.
Yeah.
And as our season's been, we can drop that rabbit straight away next week. But hopefully we don't.
You go
But I
back-
thought the Bradford Halifax game
Yeah.
was, and as I said, the lead changed 4, 5, 6 times
Yeah,
in the
it did,
second
yeah.
half.
It was good.
Unwarranted, and there was some good try scored, but it was like watching it in slow mo.
It was good. It's a good topic to bring back the Challenge Cup though. It's a double header. We haven't mentioned that, have we? We play.
And we're first.
2 o'clock.
Yeah,
well,
we're
it's a triple
first,
header, isn't
yeah.
it? There's a women's game.
Ah,
before.
yeah. So I'll get called a misogynist if we don't mention that, do we? So yeah, you got the women's final.
I'd rather watch
Is it their final?
Yeah, the women's final it is.
I hope they don't
I
take
will be
a lot of
watching that.
space.
We'll be shifting up the cream outside. That's why I'm glad we're first game because I don't have to worry about when all fans will be in the ground. I know they'll all be in for 2 p.m. and then,
And at least we get some good seats.
well, yeah, that's the thing, innit? We aren't still to release ticket details. We know they're on sale on Saturday, but we don't know how or what we have to do to get them.
There's plenty of time, yeah.
Or where the allocation will be. And it'll be interesting to see what they do on that front. Sharing an end with, well, I'm presuming it'll leave it. They're going to put Saints and Whites again, aren't they?
We're going to have to share with Saints, aren't
Yeah,
we?
and they'll put and Halifax will be with
Warrington.
Warrington.
That's well. I think we've got an end and a corner, haven't we? We've
Corner,
got side
yeah.
and we go half, but I'm sure we'll have to share with Saints.
I think I've only been there once to an international against New Zealand.
I've never
Many
been.
I've never been to
years ago.
Bolton.
No, New
You were
Round
out with me. Yeah.
Been past
Our
it.
record crowd against Bradford in Challenge Cup game. That's
right.
Saturday. That's when I was last there because I was there at a coaching course.
Wow. It's amazing what you remember, innit? Bolton for me is a great tale because infamously so, my dad tried to get to Wilderspool. Kev was on a weekend with his missus in Liverpool. So he had to negotiate himself there by himself. I was only 10 years old, I didn't even know what a motorway was. And he actually drove to Bolton and I went, Dad, that's the Reebok Stadium, what the hell are you doing here? We're supposed to be in Warrington. And he took the wrong turn on the M60, went up the M61 when he should have gone back on the M62 at the turn off. So I was like, you absolute muppet. He's never lived it down. Yeah, exactly. But he's never lived it down, and finally, on Saturday the 27th of July, he can go to Bolton with no quarrels or no one taking the piss out of him. So, but yeah, the double header concept. We should see another sellout, shouldn't we? It was alleged it was a sellout last year. It holds 28,723 people, I think it is. So, it would like to think it'd be another sellout, and it'd be good for rugby league if it is.
What does that mean? You can stay if you want to watch the second game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can watch it all free in theory. You can watch the women's final, you can watch the old beat wire, then you can go watch Saints
I wonder
Halifax.
what they'd have done if they'd have been the derby then. If Rovers had won and would have drawn them.
Well,
Because I tell you what,
There was a
there
contingency
would have been
plan.
20,000
Yeah.
there for that.
Well,
game.
yeah, they talked about Anfield, didn't they? I think we had Anfield as a backup.
Oh right.
Owen wrote you right for a semi-final.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you'd have had Ulm Rovers and Saints and Warrington as semi-finals, you'd have had to have gone to Anfield, wouldn't you? You'd have had to. Otherwise, and even then, you're probably pushing it.
For an All Rovers semi-final, you're talking 2025 for more comfortable,
Yes.
aren't you?
Yeah.
That's a huge game. That's probably second only to
And then we
what
woke
happened.
up.
And you
on
take
that day.
and then you take another. Well, Warrington, if you say you have it at Anfield and you got Warrington and Saints round the corner from that, they're probably going to take 25 as well, aren't they?
I should be taking thousands and thousands, shouldn't we?
You know.
Yeah, well, Magic Weekend pretty much did that.
But I just want to go back a little bit to Mickey Payer,
Go on.
right? And I have to say, he has been our catalyst in our pack so far this year. And whilst I'm saying I wouldn't give him a deal, I do think he goes away with his head held high. Do you know, and he's finishing on the right note with us, and he's showing the player that he was in his first stint again. and he's showing the type of character that he really is, and he's done some really good stuff off the pitch as well. So,
I think individual has done more than what he did in his first
Yeah.
stint. He's really, especially in his second stint, when he comes on, when he's gone off for his break and then comes back on, he just lifts that team again, and he's taken us forward massively.
it looked like he was finished. I remember watching him in
He's
the first
yards
reserve
after
game of the
contact.
season.
Yeah, he's yards after
Ian,
contact.
right,
Yeah.
he played in the first game of the season in the reserves, and he went and did a 20-minute spell there against Wakefield Kids.
No, I mean,
And
when
did-
Campbell stood there,
and
wasn't
did
we?
nothing.
Yeah.
And we was like,
Yeah.
he's done. He need
Yeah.
to play. And I said it's night and day to the
His,
players.
his yards are after contact now, and it's nice to see. I don't know whether it was Sky or the BBC picked up on it, but they showed highlights of a certain player, and they showed the tackle, and then they showed they coloured it in as he went forward with men on him. And I thought that's nice because that shows uneducated people who watch the game that he seems to get tackled and there's 3 or 4 around him, and that's it. How much work it is to go an extra 2, 3 or 4 yards. Keeping the ball and getting the ball free sometimes. Mickey Pear's going at least.
What are you
5, 6
doing
yards.
if you're driving forward? You're putting the opposition on the back front, which
Yeah,
amount of times
and
I
you're
tell
dragging
me
3, and if you're that good, 4 players in at
Yeah.
times.
And then
You found your front and get a good quick
Yeah,
play
there
of
we
the
go.
ball.
Yeah.
You've got 2 players laid on the floor, 2 scrambling. You either get a penalty for being not square, or the wide open.
You
And
bang on the
then
money
he
about
had,
coverage.
you heard it on Thursday, Johnny. That bloke behind us, or whoever it was, said, "Oh, will you stop the drop off?" If they're noticing, they're working the markers, they're working the ruck area to tire them players out, because then 2 or 3 players getting up.
So you come on and score from a drop off.
Exactly. Yeah, well, that was a special drop off. I want the play.
No, not a Richard Hart drop off to Danny Tickle.
I'm aiming from the middle of the field and getting field position. When you're in your own 30 or 40, coming out your own 30 or 40, and you make it into there, and the player around the ruck area, and a couple of players, then they're dropping him, coming back and hitting the same people. Quick players, they're struggling to get back. All of a sudden, you either get a penalty or you found a little hole there. But you got somebody behind me going, "Oh God, I wish you'd stop this boring drop off. No, it's doing nothing." And you think, and I know the person has been going to the game years, but there you go.
You mentioned though about the coverage, when they called the line. I have to say the BBC coverage was streets ahead of Sky's
Sky.
coverage. I think Dave Woods is tremendous.
I just wish you could slit Jonathan Davis' throat. I just
You are.
hate him talking.
But Jonathan Davis is right. What I'll say about Jonathan Davis is, whilst his commentary isn't brilliant, I'm talking about the panel that they've got on as well. As much as I dislike Jamie
The
Peacock.
rugby people.
Yeah, and you had John Wilkie,
John
you had
Wilkie's
Jamie
fantastic.
Peacock.
I hate to say that.
You had Kyler Moore was very good as well for the Saints.
Yes.
For the Saints game on the Sunday.
Tompkins is talking very well.
Yeah, and again, Tompkins,
Yeah.
number one up here. But Dave Woods completely chairs it and hosts it incredibly, I think. And his streets ahead of where Sky are at with their coverage with it.
We'll have to change your lyrics. Old Faithful, they have won at Wembley.
Yeah.
That's the best thing he's ever said. Go on, Mr. Woods.
He knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. Rumours, recruitment, retentions. We've heard a lot about this, haven't we? Seems we're looking at Joel Thompson, Kane Evans is a name we've already mentioned. Let's get the good stuff out of the way first.
We've signed.
Yeah, freshly, 2 great English players in Josh Jones and
Josh
Adam
Jones.
Swift. Yeah.
Great. I watched him the other week against Rome. Naturally, when you sign a player, or you know a player's going to be coming to you, all of a sudden you take an interest in an opposition player in the team, and he's a grafter. He showed not much in the game that I did see, but he showed enough to say there's a lot more potential there. He's got a lot more to offer, I think, than what I could see what he was doing at Salford.
He's a left edge back.
Swift,
Robert.
you don't have to talk. You don't have to say anything about Swift. You know what Swift can do. You give him a bit of space and he's gone. He's a very experienced winger as well, and it's only due to players being in St Helens team that he's just not getting a place, and hence what I bring back to Connor Winner. And although be a young player, you've got other players that would be a shoe-in to play. How long have we been having this conundrum this season over Kelly, Sneyd and Connor? So it's the same. We're lucky that we've been able to keep them happy in that respect. But obviously, Swift wants first team football. Is a first class winger. Is not going to, as Johnny's just heard to and was chatting a bit earlier, is not going to come here as a stand-in. he won a first team spot and barring, but it's competition for places.
No, there is, yeah. He's got to play well. Testament
You've
to
got Ratto, you've got Firmino, and you've now got Swift, and it's a push. One of them players could move inside. Ratto not yet, because I don't think he knows the game
I can't
enough.
see any of them three, to be honest. Swift could potentially cover fullback, and he has done
But injury,
previously.
I mean, I would never say Griffin. I mean, I'd never say Griffin could go on the wing, but when he has gone on, or fullback,
Yeah.
but when he has, is fitted in okay for the odd game. You still get what you get out of.
I'm gonna look at what our other options are though in the centre, and I know what you're saying.
For me,
The point you make is we're going to be well covered everywhere you look.
Yeah,
We've got
it's-
three great wingers, three great centres.
he starts us off brilliantly.
Yeah.
When they kick downfield, he's real. He's better than Fanoa in the respect. Fanoa
Well,
was
his
very
stats
good
are better,
because he actually got. Oh, there's a lot of penalties. That's where we got a lot of yards from. I mean, Fanoa was phenomenal in certain aspects, but as an out and out winger and gaining his yardage, Firmino is just outstanding.
Just to go back to Swift and Josh Jones a little bit, I think for me the proof in how good they are is how the response from the teams that they're currently playing, and you look on social media at the response from the fans of both Salford and St Helens to losing these players, and they're gutted.
Yes.
Even the St Helens fans are gutted. That whilst they acknowledge that Regan Grace and Tommy Makinson are their top wingers at the moment, there's a good core
I'll
of
be
them.
honest, you know,
who
I'd
think-
rather have Swift than.
I think he's got less
Grace.
errors in his game than Grace. Grace can do the spectacular.
He's a great runner of the
Yeah.
ball.
It
But
was likened to Martin Afire, and I thought, no, these people that haven't seen Martin Afire. Martin Afire could run. Swift, Grace can run, but not a patch on Martin Afire.
it's too early yet. He's only been playing 1.5 seasons to compare him to one of the best wingers the game's
I'm
ever
happy
seen.
that they keep Regan Grace. He can
Yes.
stay over there. You can
Yeah,
talk
well,
to
I
him
want
and
Swift
go-
for
If I had
Yeah.
the choice, I'd rather have Swift.
So you've got, but yeah, you say you look at what Salford fans are saying about Josh Jones, and they're saying he should be in the England squad. You know, he's
I thought we'd get
footwear.
Griffin's brother. I thought we could attempt.
He's going to cast this George Griffin.
Is he?
Yeah, with George Griffin, I wouldn't see that he'd get a game for us.
Well, not if we sign some of these blocks, you know, your Kid Evans, your Joel Thompsons, your Leggy Sells.
But your Adam Swifts and your Josh Jones are English players at a good age.
26,
you know,
both
we're
26.
coming in with a point to prove, and they're looking to kick on and achieve and play. Adam Swift, right, what I love is he could have stayed at St Helens as their backup winger and had a nice lived near. He's a local lad, lived near Rome. He continued with how he has done all through his career, but he's chosen to test himself and push himself and go to another big club to play because he wants to play. And that's a sign of he's a Radford sort of winger. He'll do lots of work out the back.
We're talking of these overseas players, but until we know what not salary cap, what quota spots we've got left, we won't know who we could be.
We've got one. Talanoa's obviously gone now.
Yeah,
Definitely got one.
If Mini goes, that's 2. If Manu goes, that's 3. If
Mini's
Mini
gone.
goes, that's 4.
Mini's going.
So we've definitely got 2.
Definitely got 2.
I would
total.
say 3 with Seeker.
Yeah, Seeker won't go around it.
Here, I don't know. It fits into Radford plans, and as I say, if he could guarantee, I know you can't
I'll tell you
guarantee
what, though, a
injury.
bit of brown nose in here, but whatever Radford decides, I'll trust
No, I
him.
agree.
He's earned the right.
Absolutely.
But with Mickey Payer, I think if we could have brought Ikehefo in, Mickey Payer wouldn't have been with us this year. I think we retained Seeker Manu, we retained Mark Minicelli, we retained Mickey Payer. We already aired on it earlier because there weren't any suitable alternatives at the right age.
No,
there are some alternatives. It looks like Joel Thompson will come in as a replacement for Seeker Manu. We've already signed Mark Minicelli's replacement in Josh Jones. I think Kane Evans comes in as a replacement for Mickey Payer. And that leaves us with because we've gone for an English winger over Talanoa, leaves us an additional quota spot to bring somebody else in. Now it looks like Liggy Sow will be that man.
He's only 26.
Yeah, he's a young,
He's big.
Polynesian prop who's huge. What was he, 6'5",
Yeah.
something like
And that's
that?
what-
Why are you getting a game over there?
Well,
He
he's
is.
played off interchange for New Zealand Warriors. He's a
in
bit.
the NRL.
He's actually finally starting to get one in the team now.
He's a bit more of a Super League style prop where he's all power. They go for the grind, don't they, in the NRL? That's
And I
what-
like the Islander throughout as well. The Polynesians, they get it.
We
don't
get
they?
more out of it, yeah.
Yeah, they're hard
The
working, loyal. Yes.
Even between each other in other teams, it's nice. It's nice to see when they get together and they're in a huddle of their own, and the opposite opposing teammates. Yeah, they're like the prayers. They're like there's a very sort of like loyal part to them within the club and within the game. And I've always said, you seem to get more out of New Zealand players.
Evans
Player
will be
for
our
player,
reference.
for every good Australian, you'll get 4 or 5 good New Zealanders.
I agree.
For every 4 or 5 good New Zealanders, you'll actually get every single sort of like Polynesian style type player up from that area. Seem to be more loyal. They seem to appreciate what you're doing for them, and they want to give you it back by repaying you by giving as much as they can do.
Your favourite era, Freshie, the 1980s, was built on Dana O'Hara, James Lowlight,
exactly.
Gary Campbell, 3 Kiwis who've got it, embraced
Wigan
the
got a fantastic player in what do you call it when we got Sterling, Brett Kenny. Just 2 outstanding players, and we got a couple of nice Australians after that. But then we got some, as we're signing now. It's wrong to say when I say third rate, but players that are finished in the NRL.
Peter Cusack, people like that.
Yeah.
Well, great, were they? With all due respect.
We're getting top. You get top players coming over that are New Zealand and such.
Well, the only Australian we're touting to sign is Joel Thompson, and he's a bit more. He's coming from the Noel Crusher Cleal area of
School of hard-nosed
and
maniacs.
that's where he is.
But
But
chase balls for fun.
I had a discussion with Dan before we started this about it, and my preference was that we would have signed Alex Glenn. No, you can't. It's not. We're not playing fantasy rugby here, where everybody goes out and you just pick your best players and go.
Killawonga, please.
Yeah, but well, absolutely. But also,
Is he good?
Caleb, best player in the world here, by a mile. But of the players we were linked with, Alex Glenn was one of the ones that we were heavily rumoured to sign. Now, what I'll say is, Alex Glenn would have cost us a lot more money than Joel Thompson probably would have done. Alex Glenn is a current New Zealand international, probably still the best forward at the Brisbane Broncos at the moment. In a pack that also includes Tavita Pangai Jr., Joffrey Ngawi, Josh Maguire. Well, it doesn't include Josh Maguire anymore, but you know where I'm coming from. There's some top quality forwards there. Alex Glenn may have. We've probably looked at it and gone, well, if we go with Alex Glenn, we then can't sign a Liggy Sow as well. We'll then have to maybe retain a Mickey Payer. So we've taken the long-term route and gone. I guess that my analogy would be Joel Thompson is more of a Mark Minicello than a Sika Manu. Do you know, in terms of calibre of signing, he could turn out to be an absolute diamond for us and be a really good player. But I'd have been more excited by an Alex Glenn signing. That being said,
you look. We got Minicello. Everybody was.
Yeah.
Not everybody, but people
said he was past it then, didn't they? And that was 5-6 years ago. So.
My cream right there, good old Rich Harrison, said it's the worst mistake in the club's history. We had a little chat the other day, on our podcast that we do. It was like, yeah, don't worry, mate, we've all been there. How many people said that about Lee Radford? I criticised Mark Sneyd. I got his name tattooed on my ankle because of it. We've all, we all say stupid things at times, don't we?
Well, you look at the other signings that we're looking to bring in, though, and I think Evans is the one for me that would get me excited as well. I know you've not seen him.
Yeah.
Kane Evans will be a leader. He would be an enforcer. He's got a really good offload. He gives you real impact, and he would not take. He's a similar stature to an Alex Walmsley. And he runs the ball.
Human being.
And he's just a complete wrecking ball of a prop forward and would come in.
I'm still 27 years old.
And Liggy Sow then comes in at 26, comes off the bench and gives you some impact from there. You add them to the likes of Taylor, to Savelio, to Josh Bowden, and there are some serious middles there. And Gaz Ellis will go around again.
Yes, I know, yes.
I tell you what, when that news came out, boys, it's a no-brainer. What Gaz wants, Gaz gets. Give him what he's there. He's a captain, he's a leader, he's a bloody legend of this club.
And you bring all these middles in there.
So you reckon Hadley will be going then?
Hadley, well, Dan won't keep him anyway. Hadley's been offered a deal, right?
Not compared to the players that we just talked about there.
No,
It took Wells away. Sorry, Dean, but they are.
You've got Andre Savelli and Jordan Lane as well, into this pack, who were probably above him there. If he stays, he's a backup player, a squad player.
He'll end up playing reserves everywhere.
Yeah, or he'll go out on loan and end
He
up
has
back
stagnated
somewhere
a
else.
little bit. It was moving on, but he's
Made a
what's
bit
he gone
I feel
backwards?
sorry for him because every time he shows some promise and gets
He
to
gets
run a
an
game,
injury.
exactly.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't play him above Mark Minicello or Sika Manu even now.
And now you're talking these names: Joel Thompson, Andre Savelli. Don't get ahead of them either.
Josh Jones.
No. It's the way of the world.
Well, we've offered him
It's a
a deal.
ruthless
haven't
sport.
we?
It's salary cap sport.
And it's the same, and I know it's the same as what we've done with Joe Westerman as well. We've offered him a deal of what we think they're worth in terms of fitting in with the squad and the players that we've signed. If they can go elsewhere and they can get more money,
Right.
fair play.
That's bringing me back onto what I said earlier, especially with Dean Hadley. He got that injury to come back we shipped him out. We loaned him to Wakefield. He had a fantastic season.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
We haven't had the player that played for Wakefield that season for us this season.
But he played every week.
I
That's the
agree,
difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's not going to play every week for
No,
us.
so that's
So you're not going to get that
that's what
player.
I'm
right?
saying earlier on when players actually seem to, not because of the club, not because of anything else, but they seem to settle into a structure, a routine,
Yeah,
a certain club. And Wakefield seemed to suit him more than Hull suits him.
Like we talked about Lachlan Coombs.
Exactly, yeah.
Horses for courses.
So that's what I mean.
LFC.
We need that sort of player. Well, you have him. We need that sort of player.
Reece Lynn. Reece Lynn never got a sniff really at LFC. Look at him now, he's an England international. One of the best centres in Super League, playing at Wakefield. Going out there and playing for a team outside of his own town has been the making of him as a player.
Exactly.
In the same way, Josh Hodgson leaving us and going to Rovers and getting regular game time as an hooker. More
Different circumstances that then.
We
because I mean,
but more for me, more kids should back themselves and play.
Yeah.
And that's the point I was probably making quite badly about Connor Wynn. I can foresee a scenario where he'll need to back himself to play. It might be that we send him on loan to a London or Toronto.
That's down the pipeline.
Yeah.
He says 18 years old.
I agree.
When would you want him playing a full year of Super League?
Well, 21.
So that's 3
I was
years
going
away.
to say
Let's
2
see how he
years.
develops.
I was going to say 2 years. Depends how he develops.
Exactly.
It's very
Everyone's different,
slight.
aren't
It's
they?
very
Yeah.
slight.
Is he really going to be happy having played? Right, say Jamie Shaw's fully fit all next year, which such would you'd hope he is. Connor Wynn doesn't play a game next year.
No.
Is it good though? I think this like okay. I'll use an example.
But he also pushes.
Yeah.
Shaw gets
Yeah.
pushed.
How
so
many
he's
times
got
do you
to
see
play at a
players
high level.
that show that promise, play a few games, go out, and then they don't develop the way we wanted to? We've had some at all. I thought Jack Downs, Janssen Terji, I thought they would have made it a Hull FC, no problem, but they didn't, did they? Reece Dean was another one. Harry Tyson Wilson was blowing up trees by everyone who coached him, but
Reece Dean was one who was touted to be the very next big thing, wasn't he, as a half, and never got anywhere near our first team. I don't even think he's playing professionally now, is he?
he plays at Hunslet, so it's semi-professional.
Yeah. So, but you look, you go back to these signings and the rumours that, as we're there, you're forgetting people like Jack Logan, who I know he's out of contract and things like that, but these are the people who, if we're running our reserves, are probably going to have to be brought in and they're going to cover our squad because we're going to go skinnier with our squad. We're not going to have as many players, but so you're going to need the likes of Jack Brown, right? As an example, will be somebody who absolutely will be a stalwart in that reserves team. But I can see him benefiting. People will say, "Oh well, you're signing Ellis, you're stagnating his development." He will learn so much from the likes of Kane Evans, Scott. As
Go
a
play
young
a battle on loan for a year, or go train and play with Gareth Ellis every day. You've got a tough decision, that innit?
It's crazy. I mean, we've got. I just looked at. I mean, I picked out a potential 17 to play next year, and you're looking at Shaw, Swift, Connor, Tumavavi, Farimo, Kelly Sneed, Taylor, Houghton, Evans, Jones, Joel Thompson, Savelio, then a bench of Josh Griffin, Liggy Sow, Gareth Ellis, Josh Bowden.
Put the black and white ribbons on the trophy then. That's it.
That's before.
Might as well not play next season.
Just give us it now, boys.
That's with backup, Ian, and this is that's with backup.
Oh, that's the
likes
sub
of
bench.
Connor Wynn, Ratu Logo, Jordan Lane, Jack Brown, Jordan Thompson, Jack Logan, Lewis Beanek, all these players. Do you know who
Where
all
does
play
Jordan
reserve?
Thompson
Sebastian Matonga.
Massi Matonga, absolutely.
Brad Fash still comes out for another couple of years.
Well, Jordan Thompson will probably play reserves or will get moved on somewhere.
Fash probably end up with Matonga will.
Here's one for you.
But like you say, it's a long season. You get injuries, you get suspensions, then they come in, they have to do a job.
One name we've not mentioned, Chris Green. Ian knows my opinion. We've probably got similar opinions. But
Right, Chris Green, right?
We have, but it's making me eat my words a little bit.
It was outstanding on
Still don't get a
Friday,
deal,
on
'cause he's on good
Thursday.
money.
It was outstanding on Thursday. Forget the Magic Weekend. For me, the 3 home games we had in a row, when we played Wakefield and we beat them comprehensively, the Cat ones was a bit of a write-off, but the cup game against Cats, he was steady then.
With the ball, without the ball,
Yeah.
is awful.
The problem is with Green, you'll get one outstanding performance, you think, yeah, this is the Chris Green you should get, he's 18 stone, 6'6".
Yeah.
Then you'll get 2 or 3 performances where you're literally ripping your head out your
And
head.
you look at his age. He
29.
should be right in his prime now.
He should be
Right.
Liam Watts.
My mate Jed says he should be Sam Burgess,
Yeah.
and he should be. He's
There you go.
got the physique to play to that.
Same analogy.
He's got the physique people would kill for. He's lean, he's fit,
6'5",
6'5",
all the
18
genetics,
stone, all
yeah.
the genetics, big hand, massive shoulders. Should be killing people.
Is it a case of, because I mean, he's lad, we know he's come through the Cot Tigers system, and predominantly everybody knows Cot Tigers produce decent players, nice lads, but not so much horrible rugby players. And he's a prop forward who's not horrible.
Yeah.
You know, and is there enough now? Liam Watt, I use the analogy with Liam Watts. Radford always said Liam Watts had the right amount of wrong in him. Chris Green does not have that right amount of wrong in him. You put the right amount of wrong, that mongrel, and it's either in you or it isn't. That it's not something you can learn. And I'd say, for me, he's not. He's been a very good servant for us. He's won a couple of cups with us. Hopefully, a third cup potentially with us.
Yeah.
But I think this is where we be a bit ruthless, and that's one of the players who we take for me.
If we get our targets,
you say thanks a lot, Chris. Thanks, man. Well,
let's hope some of these signings do.
I'd rather have
a
Mickey
couple
Pearl
of them
than
are,
Chris Green.
definitely, but
I'd rather have Mickey Pearl than Chris Green.
It'll be interesting to see what happens, that's for sure. 2019 then, we've stated we're content, we're happy where we're at, we've got to take it as it is, you know, with the defeats and the wins.
you can't do nothing about it.
No, we can't do nothing about it, no. But even Radford says that the 24 to 48 hour period after a game, if we got beat, he says, you know, he's busting kneecaps, he's going absolutely crazy. He you know, that's what I love about him, he wears his heart on his sleeve.
He's honest.
Yeah.
He's never shirked a question. He's never said, do you know what I mean? And he answers it honestly and wittily as well.
Yeah.
And not in a patronising way. I tell you what, there ain't another coach in the game like him at the moment, in my opinion.
And I think he's signed a good deal with these signings.
I'd be terribly disappointed if we decided not to keep
that would
him.
frustrate me more than letting go of any player.
Hypothetically
speaking, if we let
I think everything at this club at the moment starts with Radford.
Massively. 100%.
I don't think these players sign for us unless they know it. And that's it. It's just the way it is. There's been lots of talk that Radford has been on a rolling 6-month contract anyway for the last sort of year, and it's just par for the course, and it's a bit of hyperbole and a bit of spin, you know, that he's out of contract. For me, he's got.
So a 3-year deal in 2016, didn't he?
But some of it, in 16, but there is options as well. That's what's publicly being put out there. You hear lots of different things from lots of different people. I just say this, right? If Adam Pearson got rid of our most successful coach in the modern era, where do you go from Lee Radford?
Well, I'll tell you what, if he did
I think he's
He's
the most successful coach, full stop, in my opinion.
He's Mr. LFC, effectively, isn't he? What he's done for the club is colossal.
Where do you find? You don't find a coach like him available who cares about our club as much as what he cares about our club. But more importantly, they're just not. Look at our poorer neighbours from across East Hull, you know, the trouble they've had trying to find a coach. They've even taken the Australian international coach from 1920, whenever he coached Australia, and he can't do a job for them. You know, it's
bring back James Webster.
I hope they point him till the end of the year. No,
he did great last time.
Yeah, brilliant.
He did for us.
Yeah. Vocal cords are still a bit so.
Think of where they may be if they'd have kept Chester and had a bit of faith and backed him.
Oh, look what he's doing. I don't say that. I said that and got Neil Ludlow bit to it and made himself like a complete up and muppet.
You've got to. But then there is towers and places and people.
If Pearson had listened to the supporters, like a lot of chairmen do listen to supporters under peer pressure to get rid. Because at that time when people was really baying for Radford's blood in that first year, when
bed sheets at Wigan, Radford out on it. And my dad confronted them and went absolutely mental. I'll never forget that. It's one of the only times I've ever seen him angry. You know him, he's a soft lad, isn't he?
Yeah. No, I don't mean.
He never gets angry like that.
No, he doesn't.
Which was pretty telling, really. Luckily, Adam obviously didn't listen to him and kept faith in him. But you know, this year right now, as crazy as it sounds, you know, with a team that's been beaten 50 points 3 times, but then again, it's also a team that's won 11 games, you know, 9 league games and 2 in the cup. So we're in a good place. We're competing on both fronts, and I think we should be optimistic now for what the summer holds.
Loyalty is an undervalued commodity, and the Lee Radford, by what he's achieved as our coach in recent history, has earned the right to say when he and if he ever leaves us as coach. For me, job for life. And I genuinely believe, whether it would be as a coach, he stays within the club for as long as he wants to stay within the club. Might be some moving around, because there is, and Radford acknowledged this as well, and a lot of our problems last year. He turned around and said that you have, and we've heard on this here, is that you have your cycles in sport. You know, you've got your 3-4 year periods where at the end of that 3-4 year period, you either freshen up your playing roster or you freshen up your coaching staff.
Right.
You know, and we, if you remember, we agreed a deal with Brett Hodgson. Brett Hodgson was supposed to come in and freshen up our coaching staff, and bearing in mind we'd not signed any
New
players.
voice, new ideas. It happens at all levels.
And we turned around and said, and he got an offer back at West Tigers, and we agreed to release him from the deal he'd already signed with us and go there. And that probably impacted on last year massively for us.
But it also makes us a better club because we've done that with a few things. Letting Rattle go back to the army. All right, I know maybe we didn't have much choice, but the year when we let Pritchard, Sycamano go back and play international,
missed St Helens,
the St Helens game, and we won it. But our club has become renowned for
those things the right way
of player looking after player welfare.
You won't see us doing what Leeds have done today with Callum Watkins, where they've told the captain that, you've agreed a deal for next year, and you've got this signed and sealed deal, but
we're going back on.
Well, it was set to become a marquee player next year, but they've already got 2 marquee players, so they've back-ended his contract, signed him into signing a deal, and then when it comes time for it to reach its fruition, they've sent.
So instead of blaming the coaches, they've put it on the captain of the club.
Yeah,
mental. That's the arrogance of Mr. Everington.
Well, that's Everington's role.
Exactly.
Yeah.
but we're run and this is where, right, I've not been Pearson's biggest fan over the last couple, mainly because the City of all rubbish, if I'm honest. You know,
Just gone now,
now it's been how we've been a bit too pally with Rovers.
Yeah.
That being said, he runs the club properly and appropriately, but I do think he's learned to listen to Lee Radford an awful lot, and I think Lee Radford is just about the most powerful man within our club at the moment, and rightly so. And he has more carte blanche as to how the club's run than just about any other coach in Super League currently.
He's also earned that right to be in the position that he is. And any businessman who has somebody alongside him who has the knowledge and ability to do what he's done, let somebody run. The boss of any company has right-hand men to do certain jobs, and they will tell even the chairman of any company that we need to do this, we need to do that. You might own the company, but those are the people that are running it, really.
Yeah,
You're just overseeing it, and in my opinion, Radford has earned the right to say to Pearson, really, we need.
This is what I want.
Could do with him. I could do with that. And Pearson, to his credit, has backed him.
Yeah, you can't really argue with that. Just before we finish then, anything else you want to talk about, or is that it? We're all good?
Just laugh at Rovers.
Laugh at Rovers.
Yeah.
Clap our hands at the abolishment of City Hall Academy come September 2019.
Best bit of news I've heard for
and optimistic for the rest of the season. So, yeah, good stuff. Thanks to Johnny Compton and Ian Fresh for coming on. I hope you all enjoyed this Up the Cream Fans Forum. If you do, we might just be back next week. Come on, you all.
It's there.